सो हेलो व्यूवर्स, वेलकम टू माय वीडियो। और आज के इस वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे सुशांत सिंह राजपूत के इंटेलेक्चुअल इंक्लिनेशंस के बारे में। तो शुरुआत करते हैं। लेट मी बिगिन दिस वीडियो विद एंटरप्रेन्योरल वेंचर्स ऑफ सुशांत सिंह राजपूत। सो एसएसआर की 3 कंपनीज थी। एसएसआर की पहली कंपनी का नाम इनसे वेंचर्स प्राइवेट लिमिटेड था, जिसके थ्रू एसएसआर ने अपना एंटरप्रेन्योरल डेब्यू किया था मई 2018 में।
Actually, Varun Mathur and we have founded a company called Inside that actually works on IPs and exponential technologies.
उनकी दूसरी कंपनी का नाम विविधराज रियलिटिक्स प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है, जो उन्होंने सितंबर 2019 में लॉन्च की थी।
जी, मेरी एक कंपनी है जिसका नाम है रियलिटिक्स, जो एक्सपोनेंशियल टेक्नोलॉजी और एआई में काम करती है।
और उनकी तीसरी कंपनी का नाम फ्रंट इंडिया फॉर वर्ल्ड फाउंडेशन है, जो उन्होंने 6 जनवरी 2020 को लॉन्च की थी। एसएसआर वॉज एन एविड बुक रीडर एंड वो बहुत सारी बुक्स पढ़ा करते थे। ही वॉज वेरी मच इनटू द बुक रीडिंग एंड देन देयर इज दिस वीडियो क्लिप वेयर ही टॉक्स अबाउट हिज बुक रीडिंग इंटरेस्ट्स।
मेरे पास बहुत सारे इंटरेस्टिंग गुफ्तगू करने के लिए राइटर्स हैं जिन्होंने कुछ लिख दिए, तो मैं पढ़ता रहता हूँ, उनसे बात करता रहता हूँ।
एसएसआर ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड अ बुक क्लब ऑन ट्विटर जिसका नाम इंटॉक्सिलेक्चुअल था, जहाँ पे बुक से रिलेटेड डिस्कशंस होती थी एंड बुक सजेशंस दिए जाते थे। एंड देन दिस द बुक कलेक्शन ऑफ सुशांत सिंह राजपूत। So philosophy was one of the interests of SSR, and let me show you guys a video clip so that you can get some idea of his philosophical inclinations.
Well, his Twitter handle says comfortably numb. Are you still in that state of mind?
Yes, of course, that helps me to think.
I think you do a lot. His tweet says, we must look differently at known knowns, must take chances with known unknowns, and be ready to deal with unknowns.
Yes.
This is your own, like.
Yeah, I was while we were discussing all those important things on stage, this idea came and I was like, let me write down what I thought. Well, I think it's extremely important. All the known knowns that we are very good at, I think we should also look at those known knowns with a different from a different place, and we can come up with something very, very interesting. All the known unknowns that we are working on, I think we should take more chances with it, and we should be sure that unknown unknowns will hit us, and we should be okay with that fact.
You know, he's an actor by profession, but I think there's a philosopher, hidden philosopher somewhere.
I think it's more than philosophy. I think it's science, and as I read and I get to know that I know nothing, is some Aristotle or something. Yeah, I feel that lines are blurring between science and philosophy and other subjects too.
He also used to share his philosophical self-musings on Twitter. So this is the video clip of it. So just watch it. अपने कई इंटरव्यूज में and also on social media, SSR had talked about changes and challenges that we all are going to face as a global community or as an individual country in the future. And this all are the signs of a visionary. So let me show you guys a video clip of a visionary talk of SSR.
हाई टाइम से भी अगर कुछ ज़्यादा इमीडिएट टाइम हो सकता है तो वो टाइम है अभी, बिकॉज दिस इज़ फॉर श्योर आवर इग्नोरेंस कैन नॉट स्टॉप व्हाट इज़ इनएविटेबल। और मैं जो इनएविटेबिलिटी की बात कर रहा हूँ वो है जो अभी टेक्नोलॉजी से भी आएगी। आपको मैं एक फैक्ट देता हूँ, 65% ऑफ द किड्स हु आर गोइंग टू किंडरगार्टन दिस ईयर will end up, if they ever end up having a job, will end up working for technologies that are still not invented yet. तो जब ऐसा होता है तो स्कूल्स को भी पता नहीं होता कि वो पढ़ाएं क्या। तो अभी हम ऐसे स्टेट पे हैं कि हमें पता ही नहीं है कि हमें पढ़ाना भी क्या चाहिए। तो हम कितना अच्छा पढ़ते हैं और आपस में हमारी रैंकिंग क्या है, ये तो इममटीरियल हो गया। मैं आपको पूरे ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम बता रहा हूँ। हमें नया नॉलेज स्ट्रक्चर बना रहे हैं एजुकेशन का, जिसमें हम इमोशनल क्वोशंट पे ज़्यादा ध्यान दे रहे हैं, जिसमें हम बच्चों को ये बता रहे हैं कि अननोन सिचुएशंस में कैसे डील करें, क्योंकि हमेशा अननोन सिचुएशंस ही होंगे। क्योंकि अब रेट ऑफ चेंज इंक्रीज हो रहा है. पहले चेंज कांस्टेंट था, अब रेट ऑफ चेंज इंक्रीज हो रहा है. तो हमें ही नहीं पता कि क्या होने वाला है. सो फॉर दैट योर इमोशनल स्टेबिलिटी इज वेरी वेरी रिक्वायर्ड. सो इमोशनल क्वोशंट पे ज़्यादा ध्यान दिया जा रहा है. कोडिंग सिखाई जा रही है बच्चों को, क्योंकि अगर आपको कोडिंग नहीं आती 5 साल के अंदर, अभी जैसे आप, मैं कुछ भी हो सकता हूँ, आप कुछ भी हो सकते हैं. जैसे हमें अंग्रेज़ी आती है, हमें मैथमेटिक्स आता है, वर्किंग नॉलेज है जिससे हम लोग बात कर सकते हैं. 5 साल के बाद कोडिंग वैसी चीज़ हो जाएगी. और हमारा इग्नोरेंस, हमें नहीं पता है, लोग इस बारे में बात नहीं करते हैं, विल नॉट स्टॉप इट फ्रॉम कमिंग. अगर लोग इसके बारे में पता, सबके पास गूगल है, गूगल पे जाएं, पता करें, ये सारी चीज़ें हो रही हैं. ये होंगी नहीं, हो रही हैं. एंड इट हैज़ ऑलवेज बीन लाइक दिस. फ्यूचर इज़ ऑलरेडी हियर. इट इज़ जस्ट अनइवनली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड. उसको पूरा आने में थोड़ा टाइम लगता है, लेकिन आ जाएगा. आज नहीं तो कल आ ही जाएगा, क्योंकि इट इज़ इनोवेटेबल, इट इज़ मैथमेटिकल, it is that precise.
And this is a social media post of SSR where SSR talks about virtual reality and mixed reality. Let me share a video clip where SSR talks about plans and achieving goals of his life.
I have still maintained a diary that I used to write when I was in my third year of my college. That was 2006. And I used to write down all the things that I want to do in the next 5-6 years. Everything happened. Exactly the way I do. And I used to write flowcharts. Okay. So I'm not sure about few parameters. So I say, okay, 5 years down the line I want to be here. So if this happens, then the flowchart. If this happens, so A, B, C. But everything used to converge after 1 year, so after 2 years. Everything happened. 100%. So this is
100%.
100%, not even a single thing I did not do.
SSR had these plans in his diaries for Hollywood, starting up a production house, initiating a startup in emergent technologies, and content creation in 2020. Then there is this pic of SSR's whiteboard where SSR had transcendental meditation, learning guitar, reading books, etc., and a lot of other things in his plans of June 2020. So SSR was a learner and he was into learning. He was very much into the learning new things, and few of them were codings and artificial intelligence. So in this social media post we can see that SSR is talking about his interest in video games and how he had started coding for games in quarantine time period. And then there is this pic of an article where one of the friends of SSR named Arian Romale, who himself is a singer and entrepreneur, says that SSR was working on artificial intelligence based app whose function was to help poor people in India. And then there is this video clip in which SSR talks about importance of coding.
And the third thing that I think everyone should read is coding. Just like one language is required for any career, like doctor, you need to know English or Hindi or anything like that. In 3 to 5 years, everyone will be required to know coding.
So one of the things that SSR was pursuing, interestingly, was ambidextrosity, which means to be able to do something efficiently by both the hands. So let me tell you about those tasks that SSR used to do as an ambidextrous. So they are सुशांत सिंह राजपूत ने कुछ लोगों को मिलाकर एक टीम बनाई थी जिसका नाम प्रोटीम था. प्रोटीम का काम प्रोटीम मेंबर्स के इंडिविजुअल ड्रीम्स एंड एस्पायरेशंस को पूरा करना था. सो लेट मी शेयर अ वीडियो क्लिप of Siddharth Gupta, who was also a part of Pro Team, and allow him to share some insider's info about the Pro Team's functioning. So here it begins.
I remember Siddharth, you telling me what he called his gang of people. What was the name?
Protein.
Protein. Yes.
Protein.
And
Yeah.
what was his
So
idea of a protein?
So his idea was, that's why I call it a loss, because he had great dreams in life, and he taught us how to dream. In fact, he taught his fans how to dream. So his idea was the pro team will help him achieve his dreams, and he will help them achieve their dreams. And then we had eventual plans of making a core team also and spreading it like a cult, a lot of people following, and then they doing a lot, bringing about a big change.
As we all know, कि SSR was an highly intelligent person. He was in contact with other such highly intelligent people who belonged to professions like that of professors, scientists, and PhD researchers. So let me share some info about such friendly interactions and relations SSR had with scientists. Astrophysicist Dr. Karanjani was one of the bright minds whom Sushant had befriended. In a social media post, Dr. Karanjani shares that Sushant's house was filled with non-fiction book, a site that would shatter all Bollywood celebrity stereotypes. He adds on and says that their conversations went on for hours into abstracts from string theory to Sadre. He ends by describing Sushant as a photon in a double slit, living with a duality. Let me share some info on an interaction a PhD scholar Dr. Namrata Datta had with Sushant. Namrata says that she met Sushant at Paris airport and they discussed everything from quantum physics to DNA X-ray crystallography and a lot of other things. The way Sushant explained physics to Namrata, she finds it mesmerizing. She knows that she was talking to a genius. She first thought of Sushant as a physicist, but she was surprised to find out that she was talking to an actor. She ends up by saying that Sushant was a very delightful person. And in a social media post, Mahesh Balraj, a colleague and friend of Sushant, mentions that Sushant was in contact with foreign scientists via emails. As in this video, I talked about different aspects of SSR's life like entrepreneurial ventures, philosophical interests, pro team, etc. and a lot of other stuff. One thing with which everyone would agree, and I wanted to point out and conclude, is that SSR was much more than just being a Bollywood actor or celebrity. As SSR was into many subjects, people had started using a word polymath for SSR, which means a person with knowledge of a lot of different subjects, which SSR was and had, and that's how I want you guys to remember Sushant as a polymath. At last, I want to thank all of you guys for watching this video. This is Yom Vagala signing off.